Hey everybody, and welcome back to Let's Be Saints Awakened. We're your hosts, Andrew and Cecilia Berken.
So it's okay for you to do it, but I can't.
No, you can do it. It just got me off guard.
Oh.
I was surprised, and so it made me laugh. But anyways, you guys heard that right. We have the same last name, which can mean only one thing. We're married. All right, I'm gonna have Andrew take it away now. I need to step away from the mic.
What's up, guys? That's right, we're back. It's been a rough 6 months, so we're a little rusty. Bear with us as we walk you guys through the last 6 months of our lives while we've been away. It's been a while. We are very happy to be recording again. We've got some great stuff coming up ahead. Lots of great people, some of which we're recording with today so that we can really start spitting out a bunch of episodes. We're a little behind. It is the middle of April. We said we would be back in January.
Yes, we are a little behind schedule, but it's okay. It happens. But we're back now, and we're
that's
happy
what
to be
matters.
back. So yeah.
So a little bit of why we were gone. Buckle up. This is going to be it's going to be fun.
This episode is going to look a little bit different, and it's probably going to end up being more testimonial.
Yeah.
Before we jump into anything else, just because we felt like we owed you guys an explanation and also probably an apology as to like why we just kind of fell off the face of the earth.
But we're back now.
So yeah.
So we'll start.
Where to even begin?
Well, we'll start with, like Cecilia said, she introduced us as, we're both Berkens now. So she got promoted.
Made it from the end of the alphabet to the front of the alphabet.
Heck yeah, she did.
I'm happy to be up here. I've always wanted to be up here.
So, and that's been fun. It's been an adjustment. We got married 2 months ago in February.
Today.
2 months today. Yeah.
Yeah. Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Valentine's Day. 2026, February 14th. If I ever forget our anniversary, shame on me, because it's literally a holiday. But yeah, that's been fun. I'm not gonna lie, our engagement was a bit rough. There was lots of ups and downs. We have an episode coming on that soon. On just engagements and weddings.
Yeah. And the fact that the devil hates engagement season, or loves it and hates it. Anyways.
So the engagement season was a bit rough. There was just stress was high on both our ends, and it wasn't fun. We fought a lot. We had a hard time really doing anything together. I wasn't necessarily getting along with some of the people that she would get along with, or I wouldn't agree with some of the things that were going on, and I didn't know how to keep my mouth shut. But yeah, then the wedding rolled around, and it was a really beautiful day, a beautiful ceremony. The weather was nice. It was a bit windy. I remember that because Gabe's hair couldn't get right for the pictures.
Yeah, my hair was flat by the time the wedding actually started.
See, I wouldn't have known that it was curled.
Yeah,
this is breaking news. Yeah, Cecilia's hair was curled.
Not that you would have been able to tell, but it's okay because it's Louisiana, so
yeah. The honeymoon was fantastic. We went to Canada, Banff National Park. It was the lowest it got was -17. It snowed a bunch, about 10 inches. And it was a blast. It was a lot of fun.
It was absolutely beautiful. I think I would like to go back in the summer at some point in our lives.
Yeah, for sure.
But just because it was so beautiful frozen that I can't even imagine how pretty it was, like, not frozen. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways.
From there, we came home and we moved the rest of Cecilia's belongings into our house, which at the time was very temporary because we had plans to move away in May. Those plans have since collapsed on us, have been put on pause. We'll get into that a little bit. But we were preparing for all of these things, and then come to find out that Cecilia is now expecting.
Yay!
So, with that set up, we're going to backtrack a couple years and discuss how we got here.
See, that's when we need the soundboard again, because after you said expecting, that's when they do the bomb sound effect, like.
Ah, I see.
Like you throw a grenade.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay. Well, all right. A couple years ago, Cecilia and I started this podcast. It's going great. We love it. We love each other. we start going out. Everything's great and hunky dory, and then Cecilia starts to not feel well, or continues to not feel well.
Yeah, it'd been a while.
It had been a while, but we decided we were gonna look into it, and she's got it from here.
And so, yeah, I'd had a series of health issues that I had kind of brought to, that I had noticed and had been going to different doctors since high school, just for a slew of different things that were not normal. And I got kind of the same response all throughout high school, which was just like, yeah, something's off, but basically you're not dying, so we're not worried about it kind of thing. Which is just sad, but it was really a response that I got often where it was like, yeah, I was constantly getting blood work done, and all my doctors would be like, yeah, something's definitely off, but we just don't know what. So, just, keep an eye on it. But, it was finally just within the last couple of years that I decided I was going to, really take this more seriously because these issues weren't going away. Shocker. And so I finally was going and seeing a bunch of doctors, and I finally was diagnosed with PCOS. And I was like,
which is?
Oh yeah. Polycystic ovarian syndrome. So it's when you have cysts on your ovaries.
Which does? Which
will affect, in the long run, a bunch of different things. Also, PCOS is an insulin issue, which means that your body doesn't, like my body doesn't break down insulin the way that it should. And so everything is kind of, in short, messed up. But it has a lot to do with your hormones. PCOS does because it's your ovaries, and your ovaries are really important to a woman. And if your body isn't breaking down the glucose like it should, yeah, basically your body's a machine, and if something's not working right, everything else is going to be either overworking or not working right also. So that's exactly what was going on, is that everything was overworking, working too hard, or not working in the way that it should. So I'd been recommended to start all these crazy diets, and had completely cut out sugar, gluten, carbs, any carbs really, except for like sweet potatoes. And I was pretty much sticking to just like meat and fruit and vegetables. So yeah, that was what I was told to do. And then I was also eventually put on like a series of different supplements that were going to try to help my issues. But yeah, am I missing anything?
I don't think so. For where we are in the story. And during all of this, Cecilia had expressed to me how alone she was feeling. So I decided that I would take on the diets with her.
Yes, like a champ.
And I actually found that gluten sucks, and I don't want it in my house nowadays. I felt so much more energized on the diet that we had taken on. It was great. I'd never felt so good in my life.
Yeah.
Like I always had energy. I could get up in the mornings and get going. And I work a night shift job, so that says something.
Yeah.
And we really thought that it was helping, but it wasn't. And she kept getting worse and worse. And so she had many times went to get blood work tested. She was had several ultrasounds to check out her ovaries. And she saw a hormone specialist who just kind of said, it's not getting any better with what you're doing. Like, you have to be doing more. Like, cut out more gluten. You're not eating any gluten at all. Cut out more gluten. I like no sugar whatsoever. Just chicken.
Yeah. I ate a lot of fish and cauliflower rice like every day. Is what I was eating.
A lot. And it was rough. It wasn't always easy, especially then.
Especially when you live in the South and like food is such a huge like enjoyable thing that you do with people, and it's like, hey, we're gonna go, especially when you're in college too, and all your friends are like, hey, like, we're gonna go to Mass and then we're going to Cane's after, and you're just like,
we're going to Gaddy's.
Yeah. You're just like, okay, like, I'll go and I'll sit with you guys, but I can't eat anything. Which it's not like it's such a first world problem, but it really is just kind of inconvenient. And people who follow these diets can probably relate. Where it's just kind of like, eh. But also at the end of the day, like, I knew it was going to be worth it because I was told that these diets are going to help you, and that, a lot with PCOS will affect your fertility. And so I was like, I'm not doing this for me. Like, I'm doing this for my future children, kind of thing. And so it was motivating as much as it sucked. But yeah.
Yeah, but it still was not getting better. She went to Florida for the summer. This was last year. As you guys know, we sat and we had a couple recordings in Florida. That was a lot of fun. And she did pretty good at sticking to the diet. I did too, even though some people may say that since she wasn't around, I didn't. That is not true. I'm here to confirm I definitely did. And between the two of us, I'm the crunchy one now who doesn't like the gluten and the sugar.
Well, I'm pregnant, so that's different. It's different now.
Excuses.
After I'm logging back in.
So, yeah, after Florida, we hadn't seen each other for a while. I was able to go and visit her a couple of times, but it was
obviously we got engaged there.
We did get engaged there. Facts. I forgot about that part. My bad. That was a stressful day, man. Thank you, Jesus, for putting like certain people in our lives, because otherwise, without Maggie and Matt and Luke and Emily, I wouldn't have been able to do it at all. I mean, I came home with $0 in my bank account. I mean, I had just enough to get back. I bought a plane ticket. I had just enough. I'm doing fine now. We're doing fine now. We're comfortable. It was just a season. So yeah. She was gone for a little bit over a month in the summer, and when she gets back, we get back to doctor visits and talking to the hormone specialist, and we're told that nothing in her body is working properly, and everything is working overtime so hard to keep her alive, to keep Cecilia alive, that it could not keep another individual alive. So we had been told Cecilia could not maintain a pregnancy. Not necessarily that she couldn't get pregnant, although we did hear that from other doctors. It was more of that if she got pregnant, the baby would not be able to live past 7 or 8 weeks, kind of thing.
Yeah, that I could conceive, but my body could not carry. Just because with all of the blood work that I've been getting done, along with PCOS, which already affects your fertility, I've always had anemia, which is an iron deficiency, but it had only been getting worse. And then with that, I also have like a severe protein deficiency where my body doesn't always accept the protein that I'm eating. And so I was eating almost like 150 grams of protein a day, or trying to, is what I was told to do by my doctor. But without those things, your body needs iron and your body needs protein. Everything was working so hard overtime just to keep me alive. Like my body was in such a state of like fight or flight that we were instructed. And at this point we were engaged. So, Andrew was with me for every step of the way, but it just became even more of a reality for the both of us of like, now we're really both walking in this. Where I just was told that I could conceive, but my body wasn't going to be able to carry a baby through a pregnancy term. Because it was just working so hard to keep me alive. And so we were instructed to like really, really, really practice NFP when we got married, and to probably not even try for a couple of years until we were like good to go. And then once we were good to try, I still had the PCOS to deal with, which will affect your fertility. So at that point we were like, wow, we may not have kids for like another like 5 to 8 years.
If at all.
If at all. So yeah.
And that was very difficult to hear and to go through. And we're going to put a pin in that. And we're going to separate side of the story, backtrack 2 years ago. When Cecilia and I started the podcast, we both expressed to each other, even before we were dating, how deeply we felt called to some form of mission work. Mm-hmm. Hence the podcast. This is why we built it up, from nothing, and made the podcast what it is, because we love to help others in their walks with Christ. We both had been through the ringer a time or two. Those episodes will be much later. But, we really wanted to help people. And the way that we knew how to do that best was through discipleship, which, if you don't know, go back and listen. We've had 5 or 6 something missionaries on, focus missionaries. Discipleship is a walk, a journey with another individual. My discipler was Matt Davidson. Cecilia's was Sophia Lomi, both of them which have been on the podcast before. Matt's episode specifically goes into the details on discipleship and what focus is. And we really, really, really love Focus. And we enjoyed what they do and how they helped us. And
they had just done such a good job at walking with us so intentionally at a time that we needed it. And we both were left really inspired and with the desire to be that for someone else. So, yeah.
And so with the podcast in place as kind of like a stepping stone, we, throughout our season of dating and then our season of engagement, kind of talked about the possibility of applying for Focus. And we hadn't mentioned that on here before because we didn't know where that was going to lead us, where we would go, if that was even a possibility. But we adored it so much, and we prayed and we prayed and we prayed. And we knew in our hearts, and we talked about with Maggie and with our other missionaries here on campus, that that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to get married. and we wanted to join on with Focus. That's why I proposed when I did in Florida, and that's why we scheduled the wedding when we did in February. That way, in May, we would be freshly married and could move across country and begin mission work. So the timeline on that was very thought out, very, very planned. And so now we're told you may never have children, or it may be a very long time before you have children, which just projected Cecilia and I even further into joining mission, with Focus. Yeah. We can't have children of our own. We can have lots of little children in Christ, quote unquote, and help them grow up in their faith.
Yeah. And also, just the hardships and the struggles that we were going through individually. And with this news of like my health and stuff, we felt like we could really, and just what we had been through in general, we felt like we could we really had something to share with these kids, and that we could be a light and an inspiration to them, especially because, suffering is just part of life. It's how you handle it is what is like really important. And so if we could turn the suffering and this kind of stage of grieving and mourning and uncertainty and fear and doubt, if we could take that and say, hey, in the meantime, let's do something beautiful. Like, even though we don't know what life is going to bring, let's do something beautiful. Like, let's use what we can do and like make the most out of it. So we were really excited to have the possibility of being part of an organization that had done so much for us. So, yeah.
Yeah. So in September of last year, that's important. August. My bad. In August of last year, which is an important date. The very beginning of August, applications for Focus opened up, and we applied. We were some of the first couple to apply, and our applications were reviewed.
They opened August 14th, and we applied August 14th, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and they reviewed. They got back to us and said they would love to have us come to their interview weekend, which is in Dallas in November. Mm-hmm. The weekend before Thanksgiving. And so obviously we accepted, and we waited, and we twiddled our thumbs. And September comes around. This is what I was getting mixed up. September comes around, and Cecilia gets an ultrasound done, and we find that there are an incredible amount of cysts on her ovaries, like all over, everywhere. That's important. That's an important detail. So we're pretty set on not having, the idea that we're probably not going to have children. And November rolls around. We go to Dallas. We do our interviews. We each have 3 interviews separately, and then a married and engaged interview together. And parts of the engaged and married interview talks about children. And they explain
just family life on mission.
Right, family life on mission. Now, we have a married couple here. They've both been on the podcast before, Luke and Emily Edmiston. And so they've really showed us what that looks like, married and on mission. And it's beautiful and it's incredible, and that's what we wanted ours to look like. Yeah, and so in the married and engaged interview, they went into depth and really beat into us that marriage is your vocation first. That's, you and your spouse and your children come first. That is what you are called to do before anything else. Mm-hmm. And to not let anything, especially mission, get in the way of that. And so, yeah, we did all of our interviews. We go on, we wait to hear back from them. We waited 1 week, and we waited 2 weeks, And then we waited 3 weeks. And didn't know when we would hear back from them. We were told it was supposed to be within the week, but then our interview weekend was the biggest interview weekend that Focus has ever had. It set records, which is incredible. We met a couple people there who were hired, and really happy and excited for them. Jesse and Hannah, if y'all are out there.
Shout out.
And yeah, it was December 12th.
Mm-hmm.
Gabe and Margaret's wedding. Shout out Gabe and Margaret. Lots of shout outs this episode. And I was in that wedding, and about 30 minutes before we start to line up, I get a phone call from, shout out, Jose. And he's like, hey man, is now a good time to chat? And I was like, not really, but I've been waiting on this, so let's go. Like, make it quick. He said, all right, well, I just tried to call Cecilia. I said, you know what? She's in the church right now. Let's you and I chat, and then I'll go run and get her, and then you guys can chat.
I was praying the rosary, so.
And Jose, he was like, yeah, he's the regional director. And so he makes the phone calls on whether you get whether or not you get an offer to move on with Focus. And so he was like, yeah, we reviewed your applications and your interviews, and I just want to say that everybody was really impressed with you. And then he kind of paused. And he said, so I would like to extend my offer to you for Focus. Would you like to accept? And I was like, I'm like 97% sure that I want this, but I literally cannot give you an answer right now. I have to go like get in line for this wedding.
Yeah.
I said, I'll call you back on Monday. This was a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'll call you back on Monday. Really, I should have made him wait 3 weeks, but whatever. I run in the church. I grab Cecilia. I'm like, hey, get out here. You gotta you can resume your rosary later. This is important. This is happening. And so she comes out, and I hand her the phone. She's like freaking out. What's going on? I say, it's Jose. And then she about falls to the floor. So after I struggle to pick her up.
Are you implying that I'm heavy?
No, it was a joke. I hand her the phone, and she and Jose chat, and she's much more chill about it than I was. And they chat, and she said the same thing. We'll let you know. And so then that's what we did. On Monday, I called him back and said, hey, I would love to accept your offer to be a Focus missionary and do whatever that, and move on with you guys. And he said, great. He called Cecilia. They had the same conversation as us. Except I was put in a program that it was a formation program. I'm not going to get into great details on that, but this is important to the story too. We're about halfway done, by the way, so buckle in, because this is where crap gets real. I was put in a program that didn't start until after Seek. And Seek, as we've mentioned before, is the annual Catholic conference held by Focus. This year it was in Grapevine, Texas, at the Gaylord, which was really nice. We stayed in the same place that the convention was held. And so it was really nice because on Christmas Eve, I broke my toe. And so I was hobbling around all of Seek, which made things a bit difficult. And I think I owe Jarrett, shout out, and Cecilia and Aubrey, shout out, and Anna Castile, shout out. And Catherine, my sister, and Gianna Hannon, shout out. I owe them all an apology because there were times where they had to take care of me, and I was actually just the biggest butt in the world. It was hard. It was hard. I was on a crutch. It was rough. Anyways, yeah. But Seek was great. Seek was a lot of fun, and Cecilia and I got to experience a different side of Seek. We were invited to more things, more events, some talks because we were new hires, and it was great. It was fun, and we got to spend time with some of our old missionary friends. Shout out Sabrina. Sophia didn't make it. She's a loser.
She was at a different location.
And yeah, so it was a lot of fun, and I mean, we went to talks with Father Gregory Pine, all the people. It was just incredible as always, and I remember feeling really proud of where Cecilia and I had come from and where we were headed. When at the closing mass, they asked all of the missionaries and missionary new hires to stand up and be applauded for. And I just felt incredibly glad to be a part of something so beautiful with me and my future wife. And yeah. So we come back home and it's wedding season now.
Yay!
All right.
What?
You want to take it over now?
Are you out of breath?
Wedding season.
Yes, wedding season. So obviously, Seek is, which we might have said before, it's always like the first week of January. So, and we got married in February. So, we come back and everything's like full swing, full wedding mode. We come back and the week later I have my bridal shower. It was beautiful and wonderful. And then the week after my bridal shower, I go to take my bridals.
Dun, dun, dun.
I know, and I was so
Listen
excited.
up, guys.
Y'all, that was my dream dress. I loved my dress. I was so excited to wear it. It was so beautiful. Like, I put it, when I tried it on, I was and I'm not this kind of person, but I put on this dress, and I kid you not, I'm squealing in the dressing room. And my mom was like, oh, that's it. Like, she must have found it. I was so excited to wear this dress. I was so excited for Angie to see me in this dress. Like, I cannot express enough how much I just was so excited. I felt so beautiful in this dress. So, bridals come around. It's the first time I've put on the dress since pretty much I don't like buying it. So,
which was in like August?
Which was in August, yes. So, I'm really excited. We go to Lafayette to go take my bridals. And before then, which I actually had noticed Seek, is that I was like, man, I had a couple pairs of pants that were getting kind of tight, and I was like, well, that's just weird, which I knew I'd gained some weight, but honestly, it was really good, healthy weight. I've always been extremely skinny my entire life.
And it was part of that diet and,
Yes.
and the supplements that she was on. It was, we were told to expect that.
Right. Yeah, a lot. I was taking 26 vitamins a day. And several of the supplements had side effects of weight gain, just because, if you're taking supplements that are going to do things with your hormones and try to regulate your body's going to react to that because it's not used to it. And so I was gaining some weight, which I was like, okay, well, no big deal. It wasn't anything crazy. Like, it wasn't like a bajillion pounds all at once. Like, it was like a couple of pounds. And I was like, okay, well, that's all right. I've always been extremely little. And so this is probably good and healthy for me to put some weight on me anyways. Andrew also just feeds me really good. So,
hey.
And so I was like, okay, no big deal. But see,
really well. Andrew feeds you really well.
Oh, was that grammatically incorrect?
I'm sorry.
So sorry.
Get it right.
My bad.
Gosh. Who raised you?
I was homeschooled. I'm kidding. No, homeschooling is great.
We will be doing it.
But so it was at Seek where I had like one pair of pants in particular. I literally had to change like halfway through the day. But then the pants were a size 0. So I was like, no big deal. Which, for guys, in inches, it's like a 24-inch waist. Like, so really small, so I was like, okay, no big deal. I don't fit in my size 0 jeans anymore. Like, I'm 20 years old. Fair enough. And so I'm going about my life. Huh?
You're old.
You're 21.
21? All right.
So, and so I was like, you know what? No big deal. Like, it happens. You get older. I'm gaining healthy weight. All good. So, anyways, back to what I was saying. Bridals roll around. I'm so pumped. I wake up at the crack of dawn and I get my hair done. I get my makeup done. We're driving over to Lafayette. I have the dress and everything in the back. I'm with my mom. I'm going to meet my sister because she lives in Lafayette. And we're meeting the photographer there. And so I go inside the place where we're taking pictures and I go to get dressed and I'm like, holy smokes. Like, this dress is way tighter on me than it was when I tried it on.
Dun, dun, dun.
And I was like, crap. I was thinking no big deal to this little bit of weight that I've gained. But maybe this is a bigger deal than I thought, because if this dress is feeling snug on me, then that's going to be an issue. Like, I don't want to be uncomfortable on my wedding day. Long story short, it took 45 minutes to get that dress zipped up. And all three of those, like my mom, my sister, and my photographer,
shout out,
were all attempting to zip me up. And I was so calm on the outside and internally screaming the entire time. I was freaking out, absolutely freaking out. And on the outside, I just was like I had no reaction. I wasn't saying anything. I wasn't doing anything. I didn't know what to do or what to say because I just was so embarrassed. And I was like, oh my gosh, what? Like, I was really hardcore beating myself up too. I was like, there's no way. Like, there's no way that I'm like, I've gained so much weight that now my wedding dress is like, I can hardly zip. The wedding dress is also a size 0, by the way. I was like, why did I do this to myself? So yeah, after 45 minutes, they zip the dress up. I cannot breathe. Do I say that? No. Because it took long enough to get the dress zipped up. I was like, who cares? I'm taking these photos and we're moving on with our lives. So we're taking photos for 2 hours. By the end of the 2 hours, I'm almost in tears, practically begging them to unzip me because I haven't been able to breathe for the last 2 hours. I didn't want to say that I wasn't able to breathe. So they finally unzip me and I'm hanging it up and I'm like, what the heck? I'm looking at myself in the mirror, absolutely dogging on myself. And I was like, this is so stupid. Like, I get married in less than a month. And now, for the first time in my life, I do not have an issue gaining weight. Because that was an issue for me in high school, is that I was severely underweight. I had several eating issues and then just didn't take very care of myself. And then when I tried to gain weight, I couldn't. So now it was ironic that I wasn't having an issue when I was like, I'm supposed to be in my prime, like I'm getting married. I'm supposed to feel and look and I was so mad. So after we go home, I wake up the next day and every day after that and literally decide to run like several miles every day because I was so angry and I was like, I'm going to lose this weight. Like, I've never had an issue losing weight before, so this isn't going to be an issue. I'm going to the gym every day. I'm doing cardio every day, like excessive amounts of cardio. And then like eating really, really well, which I had been eating really well, but I was even cutting out like a bunch of fruit. Fruit have natural sugars in them, which are good for you. Like, they're not bad for you. But I still was cutting them out because it was still sugar. Like, it was ridiculous. I was so upset. I was so mad. And I just couldn't shake the weight. And in fact, every time I'd go to weigh myself, I weighed a little bit more. And I was like, there is absolutely no way. So I call my doctor and I'm like, hey, I can't stop gaining weight. and this is an issue. I went to go take my bridles and my dress didn't fit. And she's like, oh my gosh, that is an issue. And I was like, yes. And I said, I know a lot of the supplements have side effects of weight gain. Can I stop taking them? Like, just briefly. She was like, yes, stop taking. She gave me a list of the stuff that I was taking and was like, stop taking this, and this. And I was like, okay, great. So, I know I'm out of breath. So I stopped taking those because, like I had said, they had side effects. Those were all ones that had side effects of weight gain. Stopped taking those, and I was like, okay, I don't really know what to do now except to keep working out and yada, yada, yada. So, all right, I'm taking a break because I can't breathe. So you're just going to pick me up.
So, 2 more weeks go by after she's stopped taking all of the supplements and whatnot, and she's still gaining the weight. And she's like, okay, Andrew, something is wrong. So she came over to my house, which was a wedding gift to us from my Uncle Kevin and my Aunt Shirley.
Shout out.
Major shout out. Because they have been nothing but helpful. And we were going to stay, it's a tiny house, and we were going to stay at this tiny house until May when we moved away with Focus. That was the plan. So Cecilia comes to the tiny house and she says, Andrew, something is seriously wrong. And I think I need to take a pregnancy test. So this is the part of the story where I say we felt like such losers and we beat ourselves up a lot at this point in life. But I told Cecilia there's no way. If you recall, I pointed out an important date, which was July. She came home from Florida. We hadn't seen each other hardly for a month.
No, you had said August. Actually, you said September was important, and then you said August.
They're all important.
Now you're saying July.
Well, July was July. We fell into sin. We're not proud of it. It happens. We have repented and have given that to the Lord. We've forgiven ourselves and trust that God has forgiven us. And I tell Cecilia, there's no way that you're pregnant right now. I don't know why you want to take a test. First of all, you can't get pregnant. You don't even have a cycle. And the last time that we did anything was 7 months ago. So this is not real, but we'll do the test just to, what's the word I'm looking for?
Clarification.
Yeah, just to kind of cross
Peace
it
of
off.
mind. Yeah.
And so we go and we get a test, and she takes it, and it's negative. And so we're like, okay, we've ruled that out. Another week goes by, and she says, Andrew, I want to take another one. I'm scared that one was a dud.
At this point, none of my pants fit me anymore.
She just kept gaining the weight, was not eating much at all, was not taking the supplements. So we go and we buy a second test, and that one was positive. Pause for dramatic effect.
Soundboard.
This is where you need a grenade. So I looked at the test first, and I kind of chuckled. And then I went to Cecilia, and I was like, don't freak out. It's going to be all good. This was exactly 2 weeks before the wedding, by the way.
Yeah, if you want a timeline.
And it was the very last day of January. And I was like, it's all going to be good. We're going to figure this out. We're going to work it out. I hadn't yet put the pieces together of how far along she was. And she was like, you're pranking me, just like tell me it's negative so we can move on. And I showed her, and it was positive, and she started crying. I said specifically not to do that thing. So the first couple days we were very confused. We got up and went to mass the next morning and together alone, together alone, like it was just us, and then that Tuesday we had an appointment to get ultrasound, and we went. And
we scheduled this appointment at New Life Counseling because we were the only
shout
people
out.
who knew. Yeah, really shout out them. They were wonderful and a half. But they give free ultrasounds,
and we were the only people that knew. We hadn't gone to anybody with this yet
because we were still freaking out and thinking about everything and just trying to process and accept this ourselves. And so yeah.
So we go and we walk in, and the woman's like, "Oh, that's a cute 12-week-old bump," and I'm like, "I don't think it's 12 weeks."
Yeah, so she's looking at me and she's like, "I mean, you look like you're in your first trimester." And I look at her and I was like, "But that doesn't make sense because I haven't."
We're not.
We haven't done anything since.
So we begin the ultrasound, and the woman's like, "Oh, wow, you were like way further along than I thought." So they had to call in a specialist who then came in, because at this point in the pregnancy, it's pretty difficult. For ultrasounds, they, based off of measurements and weight, they are able to determine how far along you are. Thank you. And it's difficult to do that in the third trimester, which is where she was. It's difficult to do that because there's hardly any room for the baby. You can't get an accurate measure.
Yes.
So
that Tuesday, when we go and get an ultrasound done, I was told I was 29 weeks pregnant.
Telling us the due date was April 25th, which is 2 weeks from today. We were told everything all at once. We were told the gender. We were told that the baby had all 10 fingers and 10 toes, had a very healthy heart, and very healthy brain. And we were very relieved that after 7.5 months of not knowing that there was a life within Cecilia that we had thought was never going to happen, but that the baby was also really healthy and thriving. And so was Cecilia. Other important date I threw out was September. We went in September and had gotten an ultrasound done, and they found cysts all over her ovaries. The baby would have been about 7 or 8 weeks at that point, which is just bizarre to me that they didn't see that. How do you not know? We just look over it like, what?
Yeah.
So...
what's funny is that if she would have turned like the sound on, she would have been able to hear her heartbeat.
Mm-hmm. So, we immediately decide we need to tell people. We have to figure this out.
We were going crazy.
Well, I mean, it was 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks now before the wedding. Wedding dress isn't fitting. We went through, okay, who do we tell? Who do we not tell? How does this need to play out? So the first people that we went to were Luke and Emily Evanston, because we needed someone to talk with. And we got there, and I'm not one to cry, but we both broke down and just absolutely fell into the arms of the Evanstons. Major shout out to those guys.
Everyone needs a Luke and Emily in their life.
They just were very understanding, and we expressed how much we hated ourselves at that point in time, how disappointed we were, and how afraid we were of disappointing everyone else. How we thought, how hypocritical of us to be missionaries right now, to have a podcast right now, to be leading other people. How are we supposed to come forward with this information to all of them, let alone our families? Mm-hmm. My my younger siblings, her younger siblings, her parents, my parents. These were difficult things that we had to, and we didn't have a choice. We weren't hiding this. At 7.5 months, Cecilia is flat. I mean, I couldn't tell that she was gaining weight. That was
I know every
just
time
a part
I told
of
him,
it.
I was like, Andrew, I can't stop gaining weight. And he was like, I literally don't know what you're talking about.
I couldn't see it. Her uterus was backwards, so the baby grew inward into her back. The only pregnancy symptom that Cecilia had over the 7.5 months that we didn't know was her back was hurting. And then in January at Seek, her pants started getting a little tight. That was it. Had nothing else. Any other side effect was also a side effect of the diet that she was on,
all the supplements I were taking,
medication, everything. She was told she needed to be drinking a certain amount of water in a day, so she was using the bathroom more. All these things, that are pregnancy symptoms, we had a solution for something else.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was, as Emily called it, the perfect storm. There was a reason. We may never know. There was some reason that we didn't know about this until we found out.
God didn't want us to know until we did.
We had to really understand, and I have never understood, and we're still honestly struggling to understand God's timing, and how God's timing is perfect, not ours. God's timing is everything, and there's a reason for this. We just don't know it yet, and we are a week and a half away from the wedding. So we come home, and I call my parents and say, hey, can you guys come over? My mom claims that when she pulled up, she knew. They walk in, we spill the beans. We had a fun little chit-chat with them. They leave. We drive over, and we talk to my brother and his wife, because they had just had a baby less than a year ago, and so we went to them for advice on what we needed to do for the hospital and whatnot. We prayed. We hadn't told anyone for the next couple days. We prayed, and Cecilia finally decided she needed to tell her mom. So they had a sit-down conversation, just the two of them, and I'd say it went pretty well.
Yes, it went very well.
Shout out Miss Jennifer. And then Miss Jennifer went and told Mr. Jared, her dad, who's been on the podcast. Shout out.
Shout out.
And they took it very well. And we went that night and had a conversation with them and said, this is what we need to do. We apologized. And we moved on. So next steps were getting ready for the wedding. So I ended up telling the rest of my family. We decided we needed to tell the wedding party because there was no hiding it, especially if Cecilia was only continuing to gain weight. There was no way that she was going to hide that from the bridal party.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided we needed to tell everyone important. It was grandparents, all of our friends, cousins, relatives in the wedding party. So, we tell everybody, and it's not an easy thing to do. No. But shout out to everybody that we told, everybody in the wedding party, ushers, groomsmen, bridesmaids, readers, everyone who knew, grandparents. Yeah. Everyone took it extremely well and delicately. It was harder telling some people. And we didn't just tell the party. We told a few select friends as well who we felt needed to hear it from us. And then we told everybody, we're going to Canada. Spread the word while we're gone.
Yeah. At that point, we were so tired of having to tell the story over and over again that we were like, all right, we've told the people who need to hear it from us when we get back. Or like when we leave, y'all have free reign to tell anyone and everyone because we're quite frankly tired of it. So.
I mean, imagine Imagine, put in perspective.
So exhausting.
We've been recording for almost an hour now, explaining all of this. Having to do this every single time was I mean, we got burnt out really, really quick.
I was burnt out after we told Luke and Emily, and they were the first people we told.
Yeah. So, shout out Mackenzie Fontenot,
yes,
who was called and fixed the dress.
The day I told my mom, she called Miss Mackenzie and was like, "I need a favor," and Miss Mackenzie and the Holy Spirit worked together to fix my dress miraculously, that I was able to wear it on my wedding day.
So yeah, and like I said earlier, the wedding was beautiful. At that point, a lot of people knew a lot more than I had maybe cared to know. But everybody that came up to us and said something about it, they spoke to us with great compassion and love and said, "Look, it's all going to be okay. We understand that you've got a lot going on. It's okay to not have it figured out. You'll be fine."
Yeah, definitely. Which Andrew and I were so surprised, and I laughed afterwards because I don't really know why I was surprised, but we were so shocked after every interaction with anyone and everyone. We were so shocked at how compassionate and joyful people were. Like, we were I myself was totally expecting to tell people and then be like,
"Write us
wow."
Yeah.
Like, how disappointing. How dare you guys do that? Like, but the Lord has blessed us with such amazing, beautiful, Christ-like friendships that every time we would approach someone and say, "Hey, this is what's going on," they were all like, "Hey, we're human beings. It happens. And second of all, every single life, no matter the circumstance, is a gift," which was just so nice to hear, because when your brain is swimming with all of these thoughts, it's sad, but it's like, it was so easy to forget that this was a good thing.
Oh yeah.
I still sometimes will, on days where I'm kind of drowning in shame, I'll be like, no, like, every life is a gift from God, and God chose us. Like, he gave us this gift for a reason, on purpose. Like, this is not, yes, it was a quote unquote accident, but it was not an accident, you know? Everything happens for a reason. And so,
and also, nobody is God. No doctor, no Donald Trump. Anyways, nobody is God, you know, and they may tell you things that feel impossible, but nothing is impossible with God. Mm-hmm. That goes back to, we had my mom on, shout out, and she talked about the story of Faith, my little sister, and Faith died a couple times, but she's 10 years old now today. And she had a 0.0% chance of making it.
Yeah, and 24 weeks.
And it was either Faith lived and my mom didn't. Mom lived and Faith didn't. Neither of them lived. You know, that was the scenario. And you know what the outcome was? Both of them lived. And so, yeah, anything is possible with God, even if people say, "This will never happen. You're never going to have kids." That's not necessarily true. You know, don't limit God's infinite powers and his grace and his mercy.
Yeah.
So
this has been quite a run.
Yeah, we go to Canada. We come back. Not as many people knew as I was hoping to know by the time we got back.
We were hoping everyone just knew.
Shout out unfortunately, shout out Noah Augustine, RIPs, in the chat, because he was one of my closest buds in high school and growing up, and he had no idea until a couple weeks ago. I called him just to chat, and he hadn't said anything, so I was like, "Yeah, well, we're just getting ready for the baby," and he's like, "What?" I was like, "Oh, you hadn't heard,"
Shoot.
which is crazy because we run in the same friend circle, quite often. So I don't know how it didn't get to him, but
Guys are just funny like that.
or someone texted Jarrett the other night and was like, "Cecilia's pregnant. What's going on?" And then Jarrett had to explain, "Yeah, she's due this month," and that's always fun. But we don't know who knows and who doesn't know.
Yeah.
And we don't ever know how they're going to take it. So with all of that aside, where are we headed? I'd mentioned earlier that I was put in a program for Focus. It was a formation program, and I got really close with my boy. Shout out Gabe Diaz, and he and I would call every week. I think he's actually gone to Lincoln, Nebraska. Is his next station assignment. So yeah, he and I had a phone call, and I explained everything that happened, and he sent me up to someone higher, who sent me up to someone higher, who sent me up to someone higher, who then sent me up to someone higher. And no one could give us a clear answer on what we needed to do regarding the wedding in 2 weeks, the baby in 2 months, and Focus in 3 months. And so after the honeymoon, we have some Zoom video calls, interviews Cecilia and I had separately, and we chatted with like the highest of the highest people up in Focus, not like the founders or anything, but like one notch below that. And they and we decided that it would be best if we stepped away. And as unfortunate as that is, and as upset as we are with the outcome, the people at Focus said they didn't want us to fail. They didn't want to set us up for failure. And getting married and having a kid and moving across country all in the span of 5 months was a lot. And I'm very thankful that we decided not to do that. However, the calling does not go away.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll always be there. And so we were told, come back in 6 months and we can talk and see where we are, how marriage life is, how parent life is, and see if Focus is still an opportunity. So that has been put on hold, which is okay. And yeah, now we're taking it slow day by day. We're very excited to be recording again and to be back at it.
Yeah, it's been quite the roller coaster to get here.
It has. And we debated whether or not this was something that we still needed to be doing. And as you can see, the answer is yes.
Right. One thing that, there's just, even though it's been like a crazy and hectic, shoot, I don't even know how long, but
the whole year, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
2026.
The 4 months into the year have been crazy. But it really just goes to show you that like there's just so many instances where God has proven that he doesn't do things on accident. Everything that happens, he does with intentionality and with love, and that even the things that don't make sense now will make sense eventually, where it's like, all these things, like I personally have really struggled with like a ton of shame when it comes to the situation. And it's like, there are so many times where I'm reminded that God put Andrew and I together by the way that Andrew has called me out of that shame and has been like, hey, there's no room for that. There's no room for that here. And even like with all of our friendships and how joyful people are for us and how excited people are for us.
Shout out Luke Molizon.
Yeah, like just how excited people are for us is such a beautiful reminder that this is good. And that the devil wants more than anything to remind me that it's bad, this isn't the ideal situation, this wasn't how it's supposed to be, and it wasn't supposed to work out like that. But yeah, so it's so crazy because it's like, before this, I would have been like, obviously, every life is a gift. And so, obviously I would react like this. But when you're in the situation, it's really scary. And it's so crazy how quickly the devil will try to convince you that it's not good. But yeah.
And so this is our reality.
I'm so out of breath. I know. I need to stop talking.
This is our reality. This is the cards. These are the cards that we've been dealt. And 2 months ago, when we found this out, I would have told you that this is the worst thing to happen. But now I sit here and in anticipation, waiting for the joy of having a baby girl and getting to raise that human being and getting to share her with family and friends. And there's enough excitement in our community, for, like if Cecilia and I had zero, there was enough. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just beautiful to be able to think that, like, only a couple months ago, I didn't think I would ever be able to have kids. And now it's like, I get to watch Andrew become a father, like, really soon. And to, like, be able to see him, I don't know, live out the vocation of marriage and fatherhood all so quickly it's really beautiful and it's really exciting.
So yeah, we're in the process of moving into a bigger home again. Thank you to my Uncle Kevin and my Aunt Shirley. They went out of their way. They've gone out of their way several times to take care of us. They have another house that they are currently flipping, and I mean literally flipping, transforming that house for us to move into. And that'll be our more permanent, temporary solution while we discern our next steps with focus, with our careers, and what we're going to do and what we're going to make out of our lives. Again, we don't know what's going to happen, but I think that we've been humbled enough by God to realize that His timing is everything.
And also humbled enough to know that we can only make so many plans before He starts laughing.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Absolutely. So that's where we are. I don't think that we forgot anything. I think that's everything outright.
Right.
That's everything important outright. I did want to thank, we had a very phenomenal, during our engagement time, a very phenomenal wedding prep couple, the Steeches, and they have been great and helpful to us in figuring out our marriage and whatnot. So they're incredible. Everyone who has helped us through this has been incredible. Shout out to all family and friends.
Yeah.
Everyone here at Newman has been incredible.
This community here at the Newman Center has been nothing but supportive and loving. And it's so beautiful to see the love of Christ through the people around you like that, especially when you feel like you don't deserve it, when you feel kind of shy of it sometimes. It's so comforting to know that we can walk in here and that we're going to be greeted with a smile and excitement and like I don't know. It's just so beautiful and such a blessing that we take for granted sometimes, I think. But yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, my last shout out before I end us in a quick prayer is from our dear friend, and I'm talking dear friend Zoe Semino, who told us, always put the Lord first. Never forget to always love. The baby is going to be one of the greatest joys. Enjoy all the little moments. Don't forget to keep Christ at the center, and it's okay to not have it all figured out. Thank you, Zoe. Yeah. On that note, I'd like to end in a quick prayer and go about our day. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this opportunity that Cecilia and I have to sit down and resume our beloved podcast. Please guide us throughout our lives and our next steps. Give wisdom to us and prudence, and fill us with all of the graces that we need to raise this baby girl. Thank you, God, for the people that you've put in our lives. Thank you for our parents and our siblings, all of our friends and all of our family who have been so generous in their time, in their presence, in their love for us, and have helped us to realize that everything is going to be just fine. God, we thank you for this wonderful life that you've given us. We ask that you help everyone have a good day, have a good week. And in your name we pray. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
So yeah, keep Andrew and I and Anastasia, is her name, baby Anastasia, in your prayers as we continue on. I'm 38 weeks pregnant and can pop at any moment, and I'm scared. So pray for all of us as we are in this crazy just waiting period.
Yes.
Okay, when's it gonna happen? What's gonna happen next? So,
pray, in particularly, a saint that's close to us right now is Saint Giannamola. Saint Giannamola, pray for us.